Hello, everyone. Steve Leslie, YSNLive.com, your home for Ursuline Irish football, and we are back. The Irish will open up tonight, and today we will do our first Coach's Corner, sponsored by Avalon Pizza, with the head football coach of the Ursuline Irish, Coach Dan Reardon. Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. This is
Hey, Coach, let's talk a little bit. This year's been totally different. Me and you have talked about this, the pandemic, the off season, the uncertainty of things. Talk about how it's been for you and the kids and the staff and how you've gotten to this point.
Yes, so it's been a crazy off season, certainly. And if you go back to the second half of last year, I felt like our team has had a ton of growth, and you and I spoke about that last year. And then into the off season, we had some positive momentum. We were able to beat Cardinal Mooney, and that's always big, obviously, over here on the north side. And when we did that, our kids really took another big step, I think, and you just saw the excitement going into the off season. We had a phenomenal December, January, February, and a week or so in March. Had a ton of big improvements in the weight room. And last year, for the viewers that may not know, we only had 6 seniors in our entire program. So, we were playing with some guys that probably should have been playing JV football and hadn't had a ton of growth physically yet. Just because of sheer numbers, and those guys survived. They got better and better as the year went on, and then they had a good off season, and then all of a sudden the quarantine hit, and we were kind of holding our breath because we were sending out workouts. Some guys had access to weight equipment, some guys didn't. We were sending out body weight stuff, sending out if you have weight equipment, do this. If you don't have weight equipment, do that, and everything in between. And it was kind of crazy. I mean, the volume of planning that you have to put into that. And then as a coach, you're kind of holding your breath because you don't know if they're doing it or not.
Right.
So from March 15th till June 10th, basically didn't see our football team, with the exception of like we are right now, just a video chat or Zoom call or something like that, and we try to do that stuff once or twice a week just to be connected with them. And a lot of that was it was more from a social aspect than any. I mean, everybody's kind of locked in and going crazy to a point, and just having a chance to see the guys and them see each other. I thought that was good. But then June 10th, we get back together, and we're seeing many of these guys, in person for the first time. And the thing that I saw was, the vast majority of our guys, you could tell that they had taken it seriously and they were working out and they were doing it on their own. And that's difficult to do, okay, without a coach, in the weight room, putting some coaching into you and some pressure from the staff and peer pressure and everything. So I was really proud of our guys for that. Then June, July, and really up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought our guys worked really, really hard without having any 100% certainty that we were going to play a game. And, I think that again, it's a testament to the growth that they had, from the mental side of things. And we weren't always the most mature group last year. At times, immaturity showed itself on the field and off the field. And I felt like we took a big step that way as well. So, we're excited to be playing, and we will, whatever. If the state says it's just us versus the other team, we're playing in a parking lot, that's
all it takes.
If they say 10 people, we'll sell 10 tickets. I mean, whatever we're allowed to do, we're going to do. So, the kids are excited. The staff is excited. I'm sure their kids and staff are as well. And it's just, a step back to normalcy, I guess.
With Coach Reardon, Coach's Corner, sponsored by Avalon Pizza downtown. We are the home of the Irish. And, Coach, you hit on something. Tonight is the opener. Cheney Cowboys come to town. We will have it on ysnlive.com/Ursuline. And let's be honest, you've said it. This is different times. But Tickets are limited, but the good thing for all of us and the Ursuline community is they can watch the game on YSN, Dan, and we're proud of, every pay-per-view that is bought on YSN under the Ursuline site, 25% will go back to the Ursuline Athletic Department. Let's be honest, things are tight with the pandemic. It's a great way to help athletic departments. What does that mean to you to know that your football team and your program is going to be on live streams every week on YSN? How important is that?
Well, I think it's great for all the people who are not able to attend the game.
Sure.
And again, with the limits that the state and health department put in place, we want as many people there in person as we possibly can, but having the ability to watch and listen at home, whether it's because you are unable to get a ticket or whether it's because you're not comfortable going out or whatever it is. I think it's a huge benefit. It gives our program a chance to have more exposure.
Well, let's dive in. The Ursuline Irish will play the Cheney Cowboys tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll have it for you. ysnlive.com/Ursuline. You can buy it on pay-per-view for $9.99. And let's dive in. I was up at practice, Coach, the other day, and I said to a lot of your assistant coaches, the first thing that I noticed was a huge difference that you've talked about physically, bigger, stronger, faster. Let's dive into this football team. Let's go on the offensive end first for Irish fans. Talk about some of the standouts and things you're looking for from some of these 2020 offensive players.
Yeah, so I feel like we have a very good group of skill on the offensive side of the ball. Brady Shannon returning at quarterback. We have 3 guys that are all very capable at the running back position: Trent Hill, DeMarcus McElroy, and Dante Walker. We return basically our top 7 or 8 offensive linemen from last year. And that group in particular was one of the groups that last year, a couple of those guys could have used
Sure.
JV level, and we took some lumps last year as a result. But they also, learned to survive and compete at the varsity level and all those different things. And again, we saw a ton of growth out of that group the second half of the year. So we're excited. And that said, we still have a relatively young group there. We do have several seniors, but we have 4 or 5 sophomores that are right there in the mix. One of them did play last year for us, but a couple of the other guys really had good off seasons. So, you're going to see probably 8 guys play on the offensive line on any given night, which is a luxury, obviously. And,
sure.
We're going to find out who's playing the best, obviously, and ride those guys. But, you'll see a lot of guys. And then at the receiver position, Matthew Reardon and Dean Boyd are our top 2 statistical guys coming back. Terrell Dilworth is a guy going to play inside receiver. Will Burney is a guy. Ja'Kylan Irving is a guy that we lost last year in the preseason. Lost him for the year, so he didn't play a snap for us last year. So we're excited to have him back. Mark Manning is a guy. Dylan Starry. So again, we feel like we have much better depth than we had a year ago, and a lot of the guys that I mentioned played for us last year. So we do have some depth and experience coming back now. That doesn't mean anything unless you go out and execute. It just means
absolutely.
So, one of the things we talk to our guys about is, we have a chance to be a good football team, but you got to take that step. You can't just assume it's going to happen just because, we had X amount of returning starters or lettermen or anything like that. And, it doesn't just happen unless you put the work in and go execute. So.
Well, that was huge for me. I was really impressed with the skill level of the receivers. I think is outstanding. And I know your son is a very talented football player and works very hard, but those other guys in as a mix. Dean Boyd had a great year last year. Some of the catches that I saw him make in practice the other day, it's like that's a nice thing to have. And you talked about that depth and we head over with Coach Reardon in Coach's Corner, sponsored by Avalon Pizza. Great pizza. Irish fans, get on down there. Great supporter of Ursuline. Defensively, I know last year at times you were a little disappointed the way you played defense. I watched some of the defensive session too. Again, look a lot faster and a lot quicker. Talk about some of the things you want to see this defense do.
Yeah, so first of all, from a personnel standpoint, it's similar to offense. I mean, a lot of those guys that we mentioned,
right,
they're going to be on the defensive side of the ball as well, and all those receivers we mentioned that they all play DB, and the thing that we try to do is get those guys a break on one side of the ball. I mean, if you're a good enough player to be a starter for us, it means you're a football player and you're probably good enough to start on the other side as well. But, a couple of those guys are a little more primary offensive guys. A couple of those guys are a little more primary defensive guys. Then we try to get them a rest on the other side of the ball. And maybe they're playing, every third series or every other, something like that. So we build them some depth that way. But as far as some of the specific things I'd like to see, just really being a better team from a takeaway perspective on the defensive side. We were significantly better the second half of the year than we were the first half of the year. And, the first half of the year last year, I mean, it was maybe as bad of a 5-game stretch as I've ever seen in my head coaching experience. I think we had 1 or 2 takeaways in 5 games. And, it's hard to, actually, I take that back. Opening night, we had 3, and then the next 5 games, it was a very, very low number. And then the second half of the year, we flipped it around. So, that's going to be first and foremost. If we're able to take the ball away, good things are going to happen, obviously, and some extra possessions for our offense. But just being sound across the board. The thing that we saw when we self-scouted last year was that when the opposing team got a big play on us, it usually was a misalignment or a misassignment. Okay. And when we were lined up in the right place and in this day and age, there's so many formations that you see, and there's so many different personnel groupings that you see from week to week and even within a game that, it can be a challenge. But if you're not on point with where you're supposed to be lined up, that's half the battle. Oftentimes. So, usually, big plays were because of that. And then also, just want to always be a very, very good tackling football team. And if we do those things, we're going to have a chance.
There you go. Well, we will have it tonight. ysnlive.com/Ursuline on pay-per-view. You can buy it for $9.99. Coach, best of luck to you and the team tonight. Let's go get win number 1. And the last thing I'm going to ask you, and you've done this a long time, but in this strange situation and all that these kids and your coaching staff and you have been through, when that ball gets kicked off tonight, what kind of feeling is that going to
be? So the past few days, it's the, you start getting the little bit of butterflies and all that stuff, which I love. I mean, the day I don't still get butterflies when I'm coaching, it's time to hang it up as far as I'm concerned. So, maybe sleeping the last couple of nights before opening night isn't perfect. You're always thinking about, man, what did we forget, or what do we have to do better? And, it's just, you're always looking at all those things and all the different things throughout the game, throughout the football game. There's so many infinite things that can happen, and you just try to do the best you can to hit all the possibilities and everything. But, you just want to put your kids in a situation. Like the worst thing for me would be if our kids are in a situation that we haven't talked about and repped. Sure. And I guess I'm OCD to a point about that. And it's just like every single thing. And there's certain things that I tell you that, for example, going back in my entire coaching career, I've never instructed somebody to take a safety, but we practice it every week on how to take a safety if the situation arises. So, sure. That's just an example. But at any rate, back to your original question, as far as kickoff goes, I think there's going to be a little bit of a sense of relief along with the excitement that you know what, okay, we made it to kickoff finally.
Right.
Because even over the past couple of days, you're hearing about teams getting shut down because
Sure.
they're two or whatever. So, and until 7 p.m. you don't know.
No.
So
Well,
we'll
good
be
luck
ready
to
though.
you. Yeah, good luck to the team. Go get win number one. We'll talk to you next week. We'll have it tonight. Youngstown Cheney comes to Stanball to place the Ursuline Irish, ysnlive.com/Urshan. You can buy it for $9.99. Help out the athletic department. Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck, and we'll talk next week.